Hi, I'm Kris Cole, president of Kris Cole and Associates, National Medical and Pharmaceutical Sales Recruiters. Recently, I've had a number of people asking me how to get into the field as far as medical and pharmaceutical sales jobs. And I've had a number of people asking me if I help out with other fields. Well, that's not my particular expertise. I do believe that job interviewing skills are transferable. So there's a number of things that I can share with you that will help. So I'm going to put together a number of videos to help out with all of those questions. Some of them talking about the correct career path that most people take to get into pharmaceutical sales, different career paths you can take to get into pharmaceutical sales and medical device sales, and other tips as well. Today we're going to talk about optimizing your career search by using strategic search techniques. So here we go. Quick disclaimer, these are just my opinions. Other recruiters may have different opinions. In no way does using these tips and techniques guarantee you will receive a job offer. I always tell my candidates, you're the quarterback on the field. You make the call. These are just my opinions. They do not guarantee you will get the job. Hopefully they will increase your chances though. In my opinion, most candidates are fairly passive with their searches. They look through job boards, social media, help wanted ads, and employ other resources, but they could be far more strategic. The problem with this strategy is you face a lot of competition, sometimes hundreds, even thousands of candidates competing for the same position. Should you apply to these positions? Absolutely, of course you should. But employ strategy to your search to increase your chances of moving forward. One thing you can do if you are applying against a large candidate pool is reach out to the hiring manager directly through a professional network like LinkedIn. Just make sure that you keep your communication appropriate and limited so that it's viewed in a positive light by the manager versus a negative one. All right, employ a proactive strategy. We're using that word strategy a lot today. This is an important concept. Be strategic. What do I mean by this? Identify and apply to positions that have significantly smaller candidate pools. Identify opportunities before they're advertised. So I'm going to paraphrase a reporter who was once interviewing Wayne Gretzky. He asked Wayne Gretzky, he goes, "How are you the greatest?" And you're not the biggest, you're not the fastest, you're not the strongest out there. And Wayne Gretzky used to say, "I would skate to where the puck's gonna be." So he was strategic about the way he played hockey. You can be strategic about the way that you go after your job. I recommend selecting a couple of dozen companies you think you might want to work for, then visit their websites to find where they have openings. Send a resume to the hiring managers and HR departments proactively, even if they're not advertising and they don't have a job yet. Send a letter and a resume over to them saying, "Hey, I have interest in working for your company if something does come open." Reach out to the hiring managers through social media. Let them know you're interested in working for their organization. Same thing as I mentioned earlier, make sure that it's an appropriate contact and you keep it limited. You don't want to be sending them emails all the time, but make them aware that you have interest in working for them and that if something comes up, to please keep you in mind. That's being strategic. All right, join some professional organizations. There are lots of them out there. Identify some in your field of expertise and get involved. Let's say I was searching for an environmental job. First thing I would do is go to my local water conservation district meeting, get to know the members and get involved in that way, maybe even get elected to one of the positions at some point. If I was looking to get involved with construction, I might reach out to the local Habitat for Humanity and help build a house. If I was looking to get into oncology sales, I might join the local leukemia society and get involved with them. Sometimes these will lead to jobs that aren't even advertised. Somebody determines that you have a skill set that might be useful to them, and they reach out and say, "Hey, we have this job coming up. Would you have interest?" So take advantage of that. Join those professional organizations. Good idea. In addition to professional organizations, volunteer. You can volunteer for those professional organizations directly, Or you can join organizations and nonprofits in the field you're searching for employment in that you aren't already a member of. This helps you build a professional network. It can lead to employment opportunities that aren't advertised, and it helps you build skills. Some examples, let's say you want to get into oncology sales. Join Relay for Life. You're helping society and potentially increasing your chances of getting a career in that area. Do local cleanups. Let's say that you're looking for an environmental type job. Do local cleanups, they go on weekly. So you're helping out the environment and potentially making contacts that might further your career search. Animal rehab. Let's say you want to work for a veterinary's office or a zoo. Get out there and help rehab some animals. Let's say you want to get into education. If you join the local school advisory committee for your high school or your middle school or elementary school, or you get on PTA, when you put your application in for a job, the principal's going to know who you are. Now that certainly increases your chances of getting an interview greatly. So volunteer and leverage those professional networks out there. Networking. There's an old saying, which is, it's all about who you know. And there's some truth to that. Social intelligence is a better predictor of success than a lot of other measures are out there. These people are very, very good at building personal and professional relationships that they can leverage in situations like in searching for employment. So reach out to your professional network. If you don't have a strong one, build it. Build it through volunteering and joining professional organizations. Reach out to your personal network. Hopefully you have one established if you're new to an area. Again, I can't stress it enough. Volunteer, get out there and get to know people. I see it all the time when I'm working on searches. People who have strong networks are referred over to me and from candidates I'm already working with. So build your network if you haven't already built one, and if you have one, leverage it when you're looking for employment. One highly underutilized resource is career fairs. There's a lot of different types of career fairs. You have industry-specific career fairs, local career fairs, and college career fairs. I'm always surprised when I go to a college career fair as to how underutilized they are. Typically, you'll have dozens, if not hundreds, of employers there, and the turnout of the students and the alumni is not as great as I would think. I would highly recommend you take advantage of all three of those. Go on the internet, look up your college, look up your university. You can probably attend your local colleges and universities if they have career fairs. And certainly with the industry and local career fairs, you can attend those as well. Make sure you dress professionally. Sometimes if you do a good job, you might get an impromptu interview right there. I've actually seen people hired directly at a career fair just from doing a good job, dressing professionally, and interviewing on the spot. Make sure you take several resumes with you. I would take at least a dozen resumes with you just so you can hand them out to anybody you're interested in interviewing with. I might even take 2 dozen. Take a pencil and a pad of paper so you can take notes if you get to a booth and you want to talk to somebody and learn more about their opportunity. So career fairs are an underutilized resource. Take advantage of them because the people attending are most likely actually have a hiring need, which greatly increases your chances. And if they're not doing a good job of advertising it, there's a chance you're going up against a small candidate pool. So again, another resource, use those career fairs. I'm a big believer in utilizing every resource at my disposal. College career centers are often utilized by undergraduates, but not utilized by alumni enough. Here's an opportunity to get expert help with your resumes, your cover letters, interview coaching, and in some cases, they may have relationships with employers that they can give you access to. So utilize those college career centers. And like I said, to some degree, undergraduates do a decent job with this, but alumni don't utilize them enough. Make sure if you're an alumni that you reach out to where you graduated from and utilize that resource. Recruiters. Obviously something I have a little bit of experience with and know a little something about. Some industries, recruiters are the norm. Things like medical device sales, pharmaceutical sales, biotech sales, recruiters are used all the time. Other things like education, recruiters are hardly ever used unless it's a new search for a president of a university or something. So you don't see a lot of recruiters in that industry. Ask around, get a referral, ask somebody in the industry that you know and trust who they use as a recruiter. And I would keep it to one, two max as far as recruiters. Otherwise, you're going to have too much crossover as far as two people sending you the same jobs. And it's a partnership. Both of you need to set the expectations initially. How frequently should you contact each other? Those sorts of things so that the partnership goes smoothly. So ask around, get a referral, figure out who you want to work with, make sure they have a good reputation. Just like any industry, there's good and then there's people who could improve. So that's my thoughts on recruiters. One other resource I was thinking about is that you could potentially use a temp agency to get your foot in the door. Depending on the industry, there's always the chance that you can go into a temp agency, do a really good job, and then be brought on permanently. So that might be, depending on the job you're looking at in the industry, that might be another way to get your foot in the door. I know with pharmaceutical sales, a lot of times they have contract positions to where if a salesperson does a great job, it can be converted into a permanent position. And I'm assuming the same thing is true with many other industries. So temp agencies might be a way to get your foot in the door, and you should probably have that conversation with the temp agency right off the bat, which is let them know you want to get a permanent position at this company and in this industry, and see if that's a possibility. Again, being strategic, maybe in a unconventional way. Thanks for watching my video. Hopefully you will find it useful and helpful. Hopefully it lands your dream job. That's the goal here. If you think of anything that I've not covered or implement any strategies that I've not covered that land you a job, I'd love to hear from you. Feel free to shoot me over an email. And same thing with success. If you implement some of these strategies and they work out for you, I love to hear success stories. This is a series of several videos I'm going to put together. I would recommend you watch all of them, especially the ones on interview preparation and interview tips. There's some pro tips on there that you've probably not heard anywhere else. So it's been nice chatting with you, and hit me up.